I'm Hannah from JapaneseJoshi.com. Ohisashiburi desu. I just wanted to apologise for having been away for so long, but I'm back now, and there are lots of new lessons, vocabulary videos, and even some Japanese fairy tales on the way. Also, in the time I was away, I noticed that a lot of people made comments about the meaning of desu. So today, I thought I'd try to explain it in a little more detail. Let's begin! Desu is a copula. What's a copula? A copula is basically a word that links the subject of the sentence to the rest of the sentence. For example, the English copula is the verb to be, which you may know more commonly as one of its other forms. Am, are, is! Since desu is the Japanese copula, many people believe that desu also means to be. Another reason is because it's believed that desu is an abbreviation of the incredibly polite de gozaimasu. Since gozaimasu is a verb meaning to be, many people also consider desu a verb meaning to be. But if you think about it logically, it's actually a mixture of the verb gozaimasu and the particle de. So that makes it a particle verb, which would be all well and good if there was such a thing as a particle verb. So whilst many people claim that desu means to be, and believe that it's used in the same way to be is used in English, I would beg to differ for a few reasons. One reason is that one of the biggest mistakes Japanese people make when learning English is leaving out the verb to be.
Hi Aiko, I'm 21. I'm from Japan. Nice to meet you.
This would suggest that Japanese people aren't used to using the verb to be. Another reason is that if you remove desu from a sentence, it's still grammatically correct. Watashi wa jagaimo desu could just be said, watashi wa jagaimo, and it still means exactly the same thing. The only difference is that without desu, the sentence becomes informal. So if you speak to your boss like this, domo, namae wa Hana, then you're basically doing this. Sup, name's Hannah. This is why I personally describe desu as politeness. So if you think of it in this respect, it's impossible for desu to be the equivalent of to be, because if you remove to be from English, it's grammatically incorrect. And you sound a bit like a caveman.
Oh, potato.
Whilst it may be true that desu originally came from the Japanese verb gozaimasu, meaning to be, it's not the same as the English verb to be, and should at no point be thought of as so. A good example of this is the use of verbs in Japanese. When you use verbs in Japanese, there's no need to say desu. For example, jagaimo o tabete imasu. The English meaning of this sentence would be I am eating a potato. But nowhere in the Japanese sentence is desu used. What you have to remember is languages are different. There isn't always a direct equivalent or translation. This is especially so when you're going between a Latin-based language and a non-Latin-based language. Just because we use to be a lot in English doesn't mean it's used the same way in Japanese. The truth of the matter is, I don't know what desu means. My Japanese teachers never went into any depth about it. In fact, they never explained it at all, probably because it doesn't really matter. There are a lot of things in languages that you're better off blindly accepting. As long as you're using it correctly, you don't need to know what it means. And considering you just shove desu on the end of most sentences, it's hard to use it incorrectly. And if you're not convinced, consider this. Whenever I bring up this topic with my Japanese friends, this happens. Ne, desu どういう意味？
なんだろう。わかんない。
So if native Japanese people don't even know what it means, why does anyone else really need to know? So there you have it. No one can explain with complete certainty what desu means, but it doesn't matter anyway. By the way, this is what happened when I suggested this. 丁寧さじゃない？
そう！
Just saying.
If you found this video useful, please comment, like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out my website, JapaneseJoshi.com, for the written version of this tutorial and other services. And if you want to see more of me, I've got another channel here. Thanks for watching.